You are watching
I think
Xirtus.
we are going to get to a point though where very soon AI is going to be talking to animals. So, do you think though that that's going to change much, or is AI going to care, or are we not going to find?
Can you start? What do you think? Because I can't even imagine it. I'm having a hard time
I
coming
Well,
up
think
with an
that
what
that
example.
part of the skeptical thing is it'll probably be skeptical of what it's and also it's going to be really simple in some ways, right? Like it's need based a lot of the time.
Well, it all depends on where AI is coming from first. Is it going to be able to have the awareness to recognize that it's communicating with an animal that has a completely different context than the context it has and the context that its programmers or creators have? And it's talking to this foreign context about this foreign context. It would need to be the AI that has actual understanding of both of these contexts in order. It's the hardest word to say when you're recording contexts. Uh, but like how that they're asking a lot of AI right now. Does AI even have awareness of itself and otherness when it's communicating with everybody that it's chatting with all of the time? Does it have that?
I feel like if you can get AI to talk to a printer and get the printer to print a piece of paper, then
Okay,
AI is saying, okay, I
I
understand
like that.
like the mechanisms that this thing runs by. I'm communicating to it data. It's informed of that data and it's producing something that can be verified somewhere else in the physical world by somebody else. Then you've got several layers of proxy and witness.
So
And
then, what would be the equivalent of the printer in a dog or cat pet of
maybe the cockroach to start with,
or
or
cockroach? Okay,
yeah, but like as time goes on, there's levels of priority to patterns, and so figuring out what patterns matter, that won't necessarily be a language based thing.
Mm.
There's a lot of I don't think dogs are constantly communicating their thoughts
I don't
necessarily.
think dogs could be conversational with AI, even if AI understood their sounds and stuff. I think, I think one of you said this a second ago, but animals communicate for a reason. You know what I mean? So if you record, speaking of a Furby or a Teddy Ruxpin, if you record your cat and play it back to them, they freak out. They do not appreciate that at all because whatever they're saying to you is like they're telling you
stuff
they have a
was
need.
that.
And when you play
Yeah,
it back to them, they're like, "No, that's what I said.
I
I'm
did. Yeah,
hungry."
right.
And you're like, "I'm hungry." And they're like, "Are you? What are you doing?"
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys yesterday Thomas from Paranoid American brought up the sequel to 101 Dalmatians? I don't know if you've ever read the book, but have you heard of Star?
102 Dalmatians.
That's what I was thinking it was gonna be, but no, it's the Starlight barkling or barking, Starlight barking,
It's
and
99 Dalmatians.
That's
this
what I thought it was going to be.
it had to be right. No, they did make the movie. You're in a sense you're right because they did make 102 Dalmatians, which is the movie, but it has nothing to do with this, which is flying space dogs from Sirius story. So basically, the dogs start learning how to talk and how to fly, and it's because this super space dog named Sirius comes down from Sirius and
What?
tells them that humans are about to destroy society and the world's about to end, and that major environmental disaster will make it impossible for dogs to live on Earth anymore. But if they want, that they could fly away now and they could come with him to Sirius. And the dogs have to make a choice. Do they ascend, to the realms of Anubis, or do they stay with the humans, right? And try to protect them. And they decide that the humans have some value that they need to protect, or they need to help help the humans evolve, or maybe there's a last chance, maybe.
Do they specify what the value of the humans is in the book?
I don't think it's obedience.
1967.
Yeah, but it's pretty weird. I don't know. I think that's the powerful
It's very
telepath.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
I
exactly
love
is
the
about humans.
reinforcement of like the ideas of like Egypt, like Egyptian mythos and stuff like that. Like the reinforcement, like somebody needs to write a sequel to something, and those are the ideas that already permeate their head. And now it's in a
Mm.
children's book, and now generationally the story is being repeated. Atlantis, Egypt, all this stuff, and it's like this is stuff that's not supposed to exist, but it's like a cultural. Oh shoot, I can't. What's the word? Starts with ETO. What do you call it when something isn't real, but everyone knows everything about it as if it is real? Can't think of the word. But in it, maybe someone in the chat will know. But in any case, I just think it's so interesting, you know? I mean, do you think the author of this book had like occulted knowledge about
I totally
Dog
do.
Star, or it's just some stuff they heard about and it's the 60s and they're like, oh,
So because I always thought there's something weird about the 101 Dalmatians, because like if you just think about the name of it, even as a Croatian, maybe that's why I'm thinking about this, but Croatian, Dalmatian, the Dalmatian coastline of Croatia, which is why Dalmatian dogs are associated with San Pedro and the Croatian firefighters and firefighters in general, right? So Dalmatian dogs goes back. But the idea of having a Dalmatian plantation sounds...
Etymology? Is that what you meant? Etymology? Is that the word?
No, it's a noun.
Sorry.
Somebody in the chat will get it. It's like a etta something. I can't think of it.
Attitude or etta. I don't know.
Ecclesiology. I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize.
It.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that Dalmatians came from the Croatian coast and were often depicted along with Croatian firefighters first. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so Dalmatia, right? And that's where the dog is from.
Don't you think all schools should be just Snapple facts like this? If they taught stuff like this in school, you'd remember all of it. It's like, did you know Dalmatians were named after the Dalmatian coast? Wow. Did you know that a butterfly lives
want
this? Oh,
everybody to know about Croatia.
Okay, maybe not Croatia like, specifically, but like,
I already have
the kind of information
tourists,
you taught kids, they'd actually remember all of it, unlike algebra or something.
So, like, the thing that's scary about the idea of having a plantation of Dalmatians, right? If you get where I'm going with this idea of the Moorish Basque slavery, because slaves, the word slave comes from Slavs. A lot of it has to do with the Balkans and has to do with Janissaries, but also has to do with the Berber coast. And so, slavery of the Dalmatians and creating Dalmatian colonial plantations along the Barbary coast and even into Northern Europe. This is why the word slave still exists, and also why people wear the cravat, right? The cravat comes from the word Hrvat or Croat. It's because Croatians wore this sort of tie thing in the front. If you look up Croatia, so
Croatians were the OG frou-frous.
Yeah, I mean it's a bib, you know, like it's a wind block, and it's really useful for wiping sweat off your face.
Wipe your mouth.
Many paprikas, right. You know, like.
But all those neckties were before they invented shirt buttons. That's how you kept your shirt closed at the top, and you tuck the bottom into your pants.
True that. But I mean, it's also kind of interesting because the kind of knot that they used is also navies use the knot still, and it's an important, like all these knots that where did the Navy get their knots? Knots are pretty famous. People thought of knots as kind of a technology, you know, like all these different kinds of ways that you can make a knot. You could do your bed, and people made whole beds out of knots, right? So I mean, the technology behind knots was saved and fathered to son and brought back and forth.
That's how you made shoes. Rope sewed shoes. Weave the rope.
Oh, that's awesome. I want those. That's a cool.
That was the original kind of shoes everyone wore. Rope soles.
But yeah, the idea of the 101 Dalmatians, I always thought the book was probably saying something a bit more, you know. So I don't know.
Since it's Disney, you're probably right. But you need so much information, so many reference points. I had no idea the root of the world Dalmatian. So.
But why would they? The book, I could see it though. And why would they then not do the sequel? Because the sequel is the one that's clearly the most amazing. I mean, that's the most Disney story ever, right? I mean,
dogs that can fly that say, "Come with us, humans, to Peter Pan land." Yeah, that sounds like quintessential Disney. But at what time did 102 show up? Perhaps there was something. Well, and there had been something shifting for Disney's agenda for some time when it comes to what stories they want filled in our imaginations.
It's true. It was a lot simpler and didn't have the cult magic necessarily. I mean, I don't know. The original 101 Dalmatians isn't so, what's his name? Tim Burton was a tweener we talked about. So he would draw the in-between frames, and apparently just drawing thousands and thousands of Dalmatians over and over again made him insane. That's what he said.
And now I have this hair. Yeah.
Maybe we'll end up in a mega city. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, if the irony being that an open border would lead to a super city, I guess is like pretty logical.
I don't even know what I want. I don't even know which is preferable. I don't even know.
I like the idea of getting to be where you're not supposed to be. So like once everyone else is living in the super city, if I could live outside, sounds kind of nice, probably. But
I'm like, you know who I am? I'm the guy that Yuri Bezmenov warned about that gets demoralized by too much fake information and then just can't trust any information. I'm like, maybe I do want to live in a super. I don't even know.
Did you see?
I mean, do you want to maintain as much autonomy as you?
I honestly don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know if I have any autonomy right now. I don't
Well,
know if we can
forget
be.
what you have or don't have, because we're talking about what you want. What do you want?
Yeah.
Do you want the ability to make the decisions that
I
you
don't
want
know.
for
I just want
yourself?
to feel good without hurting other people, but it's
So
hard to
you are
predict.
all right. So you want to make sure you can
Autonomy
feel
doesn't
good.
usually accomplish that, you know.
Well,
But
okay. Forget autonomy. You want to feel good without hurting anybody else. So that means you want
yeah,
to pursue pleasure, pursue joy, pursue satisfaction without it impinging upon anybody else's pursuit of joy, pleasure, and satisfaction, right?
right, which is probably impossible. But I don't
Well,
know if I want agency or not. Like if there's people out there, maybe the best way to go about this is to let the people who already have all the power and the agency use it. You know, maybe they've thought of all the stuff I'm trying to think of on myself and their giant think tanks, and they're like, "Listen, Buster, you're barking up the right tree, but we've been doing this for a long time with a lot of money and people, and this is what we decided is the way to do it." And
even
maybe
if
like,
they have solved every problem and answered every question, do you want someone or something else thinking for you?
no, I don't, but I don't know if it's I don't know if something's thinking for me right now because I have two voices in my head and I have, you know, internal dialogue. So I don't honestly know. And I'm
You're asking the
so
Thanks,
question.
John.
propping. Oh, look at that.
John
Smash that
tweeting,
like button.
John donating to tell you guys that he's to help us. See, that's what we like.
Smash that like button.
My argument
share
with-
and subscribe.
My argument in favor of the Neuralink is that I don't feel that we're free of mind control at all. I feel we're totally mind controlled by each other and especially by media. Like, you know, like most of my waking thoughts are just reactions to things I'm taking in. So I don't, maybe we'd have somehow more agency. Maybe the Neuralink could allow you to filter out thoughts that aren't your own or something like that. It's hard to predict what result you're going to get from implementing changes, you know, and often it's like the Midas touch where you get exactly the opposite of what you intended to do.